Hi, I'm Billie with Made Bayou. Today we're going to work on these two frames, two different style frames. I'm going to do 3 projects. I got them from the Dollar Tree. They're cheap plastic, but they're ornate and they looked so fancy painted up. So tag along and watch what I do with these. Now they are Christmas crafts. You can replace it with anything. You could put a bunny photo, you could do bunny print or pastel quilt, make a bunny out of doilies. And remember, if you like what you see, hit that bell and subscribe to my channel. I grabbed this frame from the Dollar Tree. Yes, it's just a plastic Dollar Tree frame, but we're going to give it a quick makeover. Grab some chalk paint. I chose wine. It's a beautiful shade of red. You can baste it if you have something to baste this frame with, but I didn't. So I gave it a really good coat. I dried between each coat, and I made sure that I got into all the nooks and crannies. I did have to put a second coat on because the first coat didn't quite cover. First, I want to distress it a little bit, kind of tame that red down so it's not so in-your-face red. And with this dark antique bare wax, I put a thin coat, and then I kind of wipe it off just a little bit when I thought it was too heavy in some spots. Once it's dry, I set it aside. I grab 2 pieces of cutter quilt. These are 2 squares, and I decided to go with the beige. Now, in the middle of it, I had put a heat transfer stencil on a little piece of neutral fabric. I'm going to add a bow, just a simple bow, and this bell. Now, the bell, I need to safety pin it on. I could stitch it on because I don't think glue is going to hold it. This rusty safety pin would not go through the fabric. So note to self, don't try that. So I grabbed this gold safety pin. I like the look of the safety pin. Now let's trace our frame on our fabric and cut it out. Once it's cut out, I'm going to add a little stuffing so the quilt is not flat, it's poofy, to give it a little extra dimension, and so you really know that it is a piece of quilt. Now once I have it on there, I'm going to attach the frame back on and then the back of the frame, and we're going to be done. What do you think about this project? Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to have another project with one of these Dollar Tree frames. I hope you can find them at your local Dollar Tree. If not, they may be online. I glued everything down and added a little greenery. And look how sweet. Can you see that? The puffiness of it. Isn't it? Have you ever thought about framing a quilt? A little piece of quilt, a little piece of history in this beautiful Dollar Tree glow up frame. You know, I thought I was done. Crafters never seem to be able to stop. I thought this frame was too flat. And after a star button on the top of the tree and a couple of buttons on the bottom, so I grabbed my Dixie Belle Voodoo gel stain in the color All Naturel and just dabbed it on here and there, and I was satisfied. It gave it a little extra dimension. I added a few buttons by adding thread on them. I threaded it and tied it so it looked like the buttons were sewed on, but I did glue them on. Of the tree tag, I was finally finished and satisfied with this project. So I hope you like it and stay tuned for the next one. And remember, as always, hit that subscribe button. Let's decorate this ornate plastic frame from the Dollar Tree. I started by selecting a print. I selected a vintage Santa. Next, it was time to choose paint color. I chose the beautiful green. I think this is thistle green and an off-white. There's a black side and a plain cardboard side to the inner part of this frame, and I painted the cardboard side. The black side is kind of slicked. Got my drying tool out. And once it was dry, I decided to put some stamps on it to decorate the background. All you're really going to see is the border. And so I got my favorite stamp. I love this stamp. I think I got it off of Temu. I'm waiting for it to fall apart any minute because I use it all the time. It's a postal stamp at the top, and it has some cursive writing, a bird, a butterfly. It's just perfect. And all you're going to see is the border because Santa's going to cover most of it. And once I had that whole background covered, I got another stamp. It said, God bless you this Christmas. I love it. Just the perfect touch. Now let's add Santa back on and do a dry fit. It looks good. So I got my Mod Podge out, coated the back of this Santa. Really good. And now I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to try to center it the best I can, but try not to cover God bless you this Christmas. So I'm going to start at the bottom there, spread it down, and you can see that border peeking out. It looks good. Now let's do a quick coat of Mod Podge on the top, making sure that all the edges are sealed. And I'm going to do the edges and then do a light coat of Mod Podge all over the top of the Santa. Now let's grab the frame. It's time to give it a quick coat. I thought of red, and I love red, but then I thought of more of a muted color, so I grabbed this green, and I'm liking the way it looks so far. Doing a quick coat. It is plastic. I didn't do a base coat. Maybe I shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I think it's going to be fine. I had to do 2 coats. Once the 2 coats were dry, I got my bare dark wax. And with a stiff brush, I'm making sure I get into all the grooves, all the nooks, all the crannies of this ornate frame. Once I have it coated, I'm going to kind of wipe off the excess and then take my drying tool and give it a quick dry. And we're almost done. I hope you can find one of these frames at the Dollar Tree, and then you can add your Santa picture. You can get it off of a gift wrap, off of a greeting card, a gift bag, and you can add a bow to this, but I'm not a big bow person. For the finishing touch, I'm going to add some copper gilding wax. You can use gold rub and buff. Use whatever you have. The raised edges are going to pick it up, and it is going to look gorgeous. Stay tuned for the next project. Let's make something fun with this Dollar Tree frame, a napkin, and some doilies. First, I got the napkin down to that 1 ply. And now with chalk paint in the color of sheepskin, I'm going to paint the inner part of the frame, the cardboard side. There's a black side and a cardboard side. I'm going to paint the cardboard side, and then the frame, I'm going to paint the inside of the frame, the outside, all around, and I'm going to do 2 coats. And once they're dry, we're going to move on to the next step, which is putting Mod Podge down to get ready for that napkin. Now I'm going to take my napkin and I'm going to work in sections and kind of press it down as I go. That way you don't get as many wrinkles or bubbles, and I like the wrinkles, but this way you don't get as many. I'm going to hit it with the drying tool and dry it, and then take my gator sander and sand off all the excess. You know the drill. It's so easy this way. You get closer. It's better than trying to cut it with scissors. Now I'm doing a little dry fit, taking my Tim Holtz in dark walnut and going all around, giving it a nice antiqued finish. And then once I have that done, we're going to take the vintage doilies and this hat that I found at Hobby Lobby. It was in the minis section. And I'm going to cut the hat in half so it will fit on this frame. So I'm making 2 hats out of 1. So I just cut it in half, and I'm going to place it on top of the snowman. And I found this orange ribbon in my stash. I'm going to feed it through the middle part of that top doily, the head of the snowman, tying it in a knot, give it in a little twist, cut it off. I'm going to glue it down, and it's going to be the cutest little snowman nose ever. And once I have all that done, I'm going to start gluing everything down, the doilies, and then I'm glue the hat on the head, put the frame back together, and we're going to be done. The cutest little project ever. We just returned from a trip seeing our daughter and grandchildren in Missouri and Colorado, and there was a lot of snow. So this project is very fitting. The finishing touch was 3 little white vintage buttons and some homespun fabric as a scarf. Thanks so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this project, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. And God bless.